Hello, everybody. Oh, what a great day. What a great day to be here today with the lovely lady who knows a lot about a lot, Daniela Cambone, and the people that she's interviewed over the decades, the information that she knows, the places she's been. There's hardly anybody like her anywhere or him that knows what Daniela Cambone knows from what she does, where she's been, who she's interviewed. And Daniela, you just got back from a place I've never been to before, Zurich.
Well, I want to say that if I have learned throughout these years, and I have, one of those pillars is you, Gerald. You have taught me so much, and I thank you for that.
Oh,
And you have been a loyal and steadfast friend throughout all these years that I've known you, and I thank you for that. But yes, it's so fun to be on the other side with you today. But yes, I just got back from Zurich. I was at the Precious Metals Summit that is hosted by Jessica Leventhal. She does another one in Beaver Creek, and it was fabulous. Frank Justra, Pierre Lasson, Mark Faber, Grant Williams, Rick Rule. Those were the keynotes, and I was invited to moderate
wow.
three of those. And everyone was asking, "Where's Gerald?" Because they see us as a team, Gerald. So they said, "Why didn't you bring Gerald out?" I said, I should have. I should have said, "We got to get Gerald.
Oh, thank
We
you.
got to get Gerald over here next year."
Well, I'd love to. So tell me, what was the take? What was the,
Yeah. So I have to say, because I've been covering conferences for so long, look, I mean, I'm not going to say anything shocking. People are very bullish this sector. I mean, this is a show that was focused on gold and mining stocks. So people in the room made a lot of money. People were coming up to me saying this was the best year of their lives financially. So obviously the mood was happy, but I think Frank Justra said it best in a way that be careful what you wish for of when we are talking, $5,000, $10,000 gold, that it obviously means we're living in very different times. And is that a world we necessarily want to be living in, right? At one point, we have to say, okay, let's say gold gets to 10,000, but what does that mean? What does that involve, right? But overall, I would say I haven't seen this optimism. I mean, if you had told me a year ago gold was going to be over, $4,000 an ounce, I mean, I probably would have. I would always believe it, but this is really happening. This run is real, Gerald.
they're 100% correct. It's great that gold prices are going up when you own gold, but it's showing you how bad everything is. I've been at this for 45 years, and never have I seen such a degradation of humanity and economies. So going on the air, just before I went on, I just checked out, precious metals and other things. Brent crude, it's down today over a dollar a barrel. It's selling at $63.45. Last year at this time, it was selling around $80, a little over 80. It's showing you that there's much more supply than demand, and showing you how bad things are. And again, I've been at this, one of my books, Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. I wrote about how I bought gold in 1978 when the Iranian crisis began. And of course, they taught us to hate Iran without telling us how the United States and the British, the MI6 and the CIA, overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953. Because Mossadegh had the gall, the nerve to say, the oil in Iran belongs to the Iranian people, not Anglo-Iranian oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. And they overthrew the government and brought in the Shah and the Savak, the secret police. So when the revolution began, I knew it was real, and I started buying gold back then.
Wait, hold on, Joe, because they had the U.S. sanctioned Iran, correct?
That's right.
1979, and then the bull run happened. The same as what we just saw with Russia.
Exactly.
Sorry. Yes.
And that's a great point. And people forget this. And now they're starting to compare gold prices skyrocketing back then and now. Totally different story. And here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Back then, America was number one. You had a place like China. They had a gross domestic product. It was only like about a couple of $100 billion GDP. A couple of $100 billion. Now, 20 trillion. India at 126 billion GDP back then, now almost 5 trillion. America's not the same country anymore. And these countries around the world, the BRICS now control 40% of the global GDP. 40%. They've had enough of the United States geopolitical and economic hegemony. The death of the dollar is before us. Again, go back to 79, 78, whole different trip. Whole different trip.
Yeah. And on that point, so a few points. So Pierre Lassonde, Franco-Nevada creator, multi-billionaire, basically creator of the royalty model. I remember I had interviewed him a few years back, and he couldn't see there was no other alternative to the dollar. And even now he's talking like, de-dollarization is real.
Yep.
And the other two things that struck me, Gerald, that I wanted to bring up with you today is one, people were very bullish platinum and actually wanted to talk platinum more than gold. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And two, most of the keynotes who are very wealthy and perhaps were born and lived in Canada or the US, none of them live in North America. No one lives in North America. Okay, now obviously they're wealthy enough to have homes in Zermatt and Milano and Lago di Como and, but a question that was asked repeatedly by the audience is a sense of confusion of people don't know where to live anymore.
Yep.
And I find that so sad. Like, remember the American dream, buy the white picket, fence, house, 3 kids, a puppy, whatever. But people don't know where to live anymore. They're like, we want to live America. We want to leave America. Where do we go?
Yeah. Where do you go? And again, you're going back to platinum. I don't know enough about platinum, but silver.
Yes.
I mean, just before we went on the air, silver was up almost $1 an ounce.
Yes.
Gold was up. It was high as up $60 an ounce. Now, as we went on the air, it was up $38 an ounce. It's selling at $4,106 as we're talking, and silver's almost $52 an ounce.
So people also wanted silver, but people will also, going back to owning the physical stuff, right? It's like it's clicking now. Like you saw what happened yesterday with the Cloudflare. I couldn't get onto X. I don't know how many websites were down. And Gerald, that just made me think, well, to the point of the gold advocate versus Bitcoin, things can go out in a second and then you can't access your Bitcoin.
Yep.
Right?
Look, yeah. No, you're 100% right. Again, this whole Bitcoin thing, it's a made up thing. And now, here's one of my favorite lines. They're going with stable coins. Yeah.
Yes.
Orwell couldn't come up with a better name than a stable coin. What's stable coin? What crap are you selling over here? Well, now the ECB's coming out against that, by the way. They want to stop it. But again, they're going to go digital. It's going to go from dirty cash to digital trash. It's the future. Like it, hate it. And again, the more they go there, the higher gold prices go. And if Bitcoin keeps going down, gold and silver prices are going to go much higher. If there was no Bitcoins, if there were no cryptocurrencies now, gold prices would be way, way beyond where they are now. And by the way, here's our forecast for gold. Again, you go back to October 16th. I did a podcast and I said, gold is going to correct at least $500 an ounce. The prices skyrocketed. Nothing goes straight up. Got to come down. It went down about $500 an ounce. Now, what I'm saying is, as we right now, gold is around about 4,100 change.
Yeah.
And it has to solidify over 4,200. That's the way we see it. And then from there, it takes the next step up. And what was also important, and again, how you were telling me about the people there that, yeah, they're, again, knock on wood, I've been buying gold for, a lot of years, but it's never been worse times. And the two things to really look at are the Ukraine war and the Israel war. And the Ukraine war is going to keep ramping up. France is just giving them more weapons. Are you ready for this? Germany just came out. Yeah, you like Germany in World War II? No, I like them in World War I better. Yeah, they just announced they're giving Israel more weapons. Now that there's a ceasefire, we're giving you more weapons. Oh, you mean to keep slaughtering the people over there? Oh, Israel bombing Lebanon? Oh, they just killed 13 people over there yesterday. Oh, and they're fighting against Hezbollah, that terrorist group. You mean the Lebanese people that threw Israel out of Lebanon back in 2006 after Israel invaded Lebanon and stole all that territory, and they threw them out, so they're a terrorist group? That's the crap that they sell you in the mainstream media. They make you hate one side and support the other.
But if you've noticed, the war talk has dampened on mainstream media, right? That people think this is peaceful. But the keynotes, including Dr. Mark Faber, was like, no, we are on the cusp of World War. He's still talking World War III. I feel we've not you, Gerald, but we have let our guard down a little here. Like we thought, oh, they signed the peace agreement over in the Middle East. We're okay now. Everyone go enjoy Christmas.
No. Again, World War III has already begun. There's going to be a false flag event that makes it official. One of my sayings is, when all else fails, they take you to war. You can look this up. That is somewhere. It's History Today, mainstream site. Oh, by the way, here's a quote. If you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. That was Plato. And that's what we're living under. The rule of fools. Who's your favorite fool? Look around the world. And going back to History Today, one of my sayings is, when all else fails, they take you to war. What happened was the Great Depression. You could Google this up. 1941, July 26th. President Franklin Roosevelt seizes all Japanese assets in America. Now remember, the Great Depression's going on. When all else fails, they take you to war. How come you stole the money from the Japanese? Why, those 30 Japanese? They invaded French Indochina. Wait a minute. Number one, I'm an American. What the hell do I care? And French Indochina? You mean Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam? And you're calling it French Indochina? Why, the French Foreign Legion? We're in Algeria. We're in Morocco. We're stealing, robbing, pillaging. The Dutch East Indies and the British joined America. Dutch East Indies? What the hell are the Dutch doing in Indonesia? And you're calling it Dutch East Indies? They cut off, you can look it up, 3/4 of Japanese export trade and 88% of their oil. They only import 100%. Okay, wait a minute. You stole their money, you cut off their foreign trade, and you cut off their oil. Can't understand why they bombed Pearl Harbor. I never figured that out. They never teach you this. They don't tell you about this. When all else fails, they take you to war. The global economy is failing. World War III has already begun. There's going to be a false flag event that makes it, quote, official, just like World War II. Because you go back to World War II, 80% of the Americans didn't want to get involved with what was going on over there in Europe.
That's right.
Now let's go back to the dot-com bust. Yep. We had forecasted in your Trends Journal right here back in 1999 in the autumn when it used to be a quarterly. Now it's a weekly. .com this. We said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000. It did. What happened? The NASDAQ fell 80%. Down 80%. Little Georgie Bush had just got elected. His ratings were in the toilet. All of a sudden, 9/11, everybody forgot about the .com bust. Now, we're forecasting .com bust 2.0. Trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. You don't invest all your money in the infant that was just born 3 years ago. So it goes back to the .com bust is going to happen. We said this, it was the cover of our Trends Journal magazine back in February. Right there.
Yep.
And now the mainstream media is finally talking about it. What does this have to do? When the markets crash, gold prices, silver prices are going to skyrocket.
That's what most people, I just had Garrett Soloway on yesterday and Chris Vermeulen before, and they're all tracking a 40% crash. That's not a correction, a crash in AI stocks and Bitcoin to fall with it. They're both forecasting Bitcoin to go down. Actually, I had one guy on saying 70,000 if you're lucky, and 40,000 would be the.
Again, there's the wild card, though, in that. And that is that the Trump team is heavily invested in it.
Well, there you go. So will they allow that to happen? Or will they
again, Trump got over $100 million from the crypto people when he was running for president. Tens of millions for his inauguration. You got that guy Lutnick, the clown boy that's our commerce secretary. His kid's in it. Witkoff, Jerkoff, whatever the other guy's name is. His kid's into it.
Yeah.
Trump's family's into it. And Trump's only interested in making money. So that's the other wild card in this. Will they do everything to keep pushing the price up? George Carlin says one big club and you ain't in it. And that's all it is. It's one big club. And again, this is the Trump, by the way, when you could go back and look at the facts, how he hated Bitcoin back in 2020 and 2021. So where Bitcoin goes, but again, the point that you make, this is digitized nothing. And gold is going to, again, unfortunately, it's the future in the terms of how bad things are.
There's so much I want to tell you, Gerald. So one is I'm curious to get your thoughts. So one, I brought up the stable coins to Frank Juster because I spoke to Professor Steve Hanke. I believe you know him, Gerald. He was personally invited by the White House now to look at two paths to save the dollar because they're finally waking up and thinking, oh crap, we are actually on the road to de-dollarization. What are the two paths? One is gently getting countries to dollarize. Who are the two potential candidates? Argentina, Lebanon. Or two, stable coins. Most people seem to think that's going to be the more likely path, the stable coin. But what are stable coins? It's not legal tender. So what you're going to create a different monetary system and give people the option of choosing the US dollar or stable coins?
Again, you just came out yesterday. The ECB is very concerned about the stablecoin stuff. And we're talking about Argentina. You mean the one that's how many billions of dollars in debt that we just sent them another 20, 40 billion dollars to bail out the gangs that are involved?
Exactly. Why did we do that? So maybe they do want Argentina to dollarize.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of Americans invested in Argentina.
Right.
And then their treasuries and on, and they're bailing them out.
Right.
But again, that we're doing this for Argentina is a joke. It's a sick joke. Is this country's rotting in front of our eyes? We're spending that kind of money to send over there. No, they're going to try. You're 100% correct with the stable coin. That's what they're going to do. And again, they're going to go from, as we say, from dirty cash to digital trash.
Absolutely. I totally makes sense to me.
And that's going to push gold prices up higher. because people want the real value of something. It's the precious metal, and silver as well.
But
So
we're not, but you know who's waking up to it? I saw the stats yesterday. India's gold imports rose 200%. Did you see that headline, Gerald?
Yep.
200% from last year. They know what's up. I don't think North American investors, I mean, most of the talk was like, you'd be shocked to see how little gold is in people's portfolios. People still are not waking up to it.
No, they don't. And again, people don't know much about anything, and they only watch the mainstream media, and but they're not. And again, you have to look at what's going on too. And it's the decline of this country. As you were saying, people want to leave. Once upon a time, when I was a young guy, they had things called grocery stores, fish stores, butcher shops, shoe stores, drug stores, stationery stores. No more. They're all chains.
Yeah.
Look at this election. Hey, you're in a place called New York City.
Well, I want to talk to you about that, because that was a place where people would want to, the young kids, that was the dream, right? That was my dream too. Oh, I could be a journalist and work on Wall Street. People want to flee the city now. It's no longer the dream, Gerald.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm a guy born in the Bronx. I know New York, and it breaks my heart to see what's happened to the city. But this election goes back to gold, where the country's going, why people want to leave. Generation Z has no future. Gen Z, they're busted.
Yeah,
and now the AI is coming out, and you're watching. The facts are all there. Young kids getting out of college can't find jobs. AI is taking a lot of them. And again, as trend forecasters, you look at things for the way they are, not the way you want them to be. This election in New York City, again, whether you like the guy, don't like him, I tell people, I don't want to hear what you like or don't like. It's what is. This is historical. And it's showing you the decline of the economy. The biggest turnout for this guy, 30% higher than any other sector, for this guy, Mondani, with Generation Z and millennials. They're broke. Here, this is the fact. 10% of the retail spending in America, 50% comes from the 10%. 50% of the spending comes from the top 10%. The rest of the people are broke. So why do people want to leave this country? It's not the place where my grandparents and that generation wanted to come to. America was once the land of opportunity. Gone. The big zone, everything. Again, you look at the facts. That clown boy, what's his name? Larry Summers. Oh, remember him, the Treasury Secretary? Yeah, that clown boy. Oh, now he's retiring because the Epstein files just came out. Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to here. This was a T-shirt, Daniela.
Yeah.
That I did back in 1992 when Bill Clinton ran for office. This is the clown boy. Hey, get them jobs out of America. Give them to NAFTA. Bring them down to Mexico. You get cheap labor. This is a little slime ball that every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad. Oh, that guy? Oh, yeah. The guy that on Madeleine Albright, well, not all that bright, on 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl asks her, is the price of over 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 that died because what Bill Clinton did worth the price? And she said, yes, it's worth the price. Anyway, going back to that slimeball little boy who had no money at all, a little jerk off there in Arkansas. Now he's worth what, about $140 million? Gets $300,000, $400,000 an hour to hear him BS to the Goldman Sachs guys when you can't BS for free. Anyway, going back to the decline of America and why people want to leave. Back in the day, and that guy Summers, Yeah,
Right.
like go over little chicks and through the Epstein guy, maybe. I don't know the details. But anyway, killed the Glass-Steagall Act. This is the Bill Clinton. It began under little Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer that everybody likes. Oh, they gave us Mujahideen. Oh, that's the guy that created Osama bin Laden. Yeah, that guy. Jimmy Carter was the guy that started pushing the banks to become interstate. Before that, banks were only intrastate. The Bank of America was only in California. And Bill Clinton finalized it. And now the banks, going back to why people are leaving this country and how people don't have an advantage anymore. There are no mom and pop businesses hardly anymore. It's all the bigs. The same thing happened with the banking sector. There were banks, local banks in every little city. Local banks, all gone.
Yep.
Now the bigs own everything. The
That's right.
Glass-Steagall Act, one after another. Oh, and then he brought China into the World Trade Organization. I forgot that one.
You know,
Now let's go back to the dot-com bust. You make connections between different fields.
it's heartbreaking.
Before Bill Clinton brought China into the World Trade Organization, you look at their gross domestic product from 1970 to 2000. It's like a line like that. They get in, it shoots up. In 1980, 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. Today, almost 70%. Let's go back to AI. Young people are totally AI and high-tech addicted. China is investing very heavily in this. The kids that are going to college in China, they're not taking courses in gender studies or art history, you know.
They're not taking gap years and yep.
They're going to lead. China's going to lead the world in AI, and these companies are going to go bust in the United States. And again, when they go bust, gold prices spike. So what other things did you hear at this conference?
But you heard that, I think they're going to fight back from China. You saw that Dutch company, and I'll get you the name, Gerald. I brought this up in an interview, that basically stopped the production of, Chinese chips and wherever it was. I think it was Amsterdam or whatever. So I think countries are going to try and find loopholes to stop China. But two things, I just want to say two things. When you're talking about the small banks, it breaks my heart because I look at my parents in their 80s. My dad still works, still running his small business, right? But they used to belong to a bank. It was a small bank, right? They knew all the tellers by name. They'd bring them Christmas baskets at Christmas. They'd walk in, hi, Alberto, hi, Francesca. There was personal contact, right? Yep. Now that bank was bought out by another bank. There's no one to speak to. Now my dad, 80-year-old, has to go in, and the guy's telling him, all the people that used to work there were gone, fired. And he's telling him, no, you got to talk to this machine and do all your banking with this machine. And my dad's like, I don't know how to use this thing and do invoicing and, and it's just so sad that we lost that, and that this generation has no idea that existed.
Exactly. They have no idea.
That interperson, that you'd walk into a butcher store, you'd walk into your farm, you knew the people. There's none of that. No one cares about, in this apartment in New York City, I can't tell you the name of one of my neighbors because no one says hi. You're weird. You're saying hi. Oh, you just said hi to me in the elevator. Why?
Yeah, I know. And again, I'm out here. Everybody walks down the street like this.
Yeah, and you're in a friendlier neighborhood. Yeah,
and nobody talks to you anymore. They're on their phone. You go into bars now. People are on their phone. They're not talking to you.
They don't even. She's crossing on her red. We could have easily run her over. She's on her phone like this. My husband honks. She's shocked. It's like, lady, you're crossing on a red with your phone like this.
I know. Again, I was just down the city. Same thing. People walking across the street like this as you're trying to drive. No, the whole world has changed. It's all going AI. Young people aren't going to be able to earn a living. And again, This election in New York City is historic.
So I want to tell you, it was historic. And everyone at the show in Zurich, this is Europe. Why would they care who the mayor of New York City is? Yeah, you can argue it's the most important city in the world, whatever. But still, it's a city mayor race, okay? Everyone was talking about Mamdani. So here's what I brought up, okay? And I think here's what's messed up. Is that the word capitalism now, Gerald, for this new generation is a dirty word.
Yep.
Okay. And I brought this up and I said, where did we go wrong that they don't want a capitalist society, right? Oh, capitalism? No, we need socialism. I grew up in Montreal. Okay. I want to tell Mamdani, I get it. The $5 daycares, the low cost housing, they all sound great in theory, but it never works. You know, the $5 daycare in Montreal, you had to put yourself on the list 5 years before you even gonna give birth. And it traps you. Okay. I'm going to tell you how this is. I'm going to share this story that I've never shared. I used to work with someone in Montreal where everyone knows I used to work when I started my gold journey. He was part of my team. Okay. He was making, let's say 65,000 Canadian. He calls me one day. He's so excited. He qualified for low income housing. He was going to get an apartment in Montreal for $600 a month for life for him and his family if he stays at this salary, right? I then go to my next place of work and there's an opening for a position. It's 120,000 US. This would be triple what he's making, right? Converting American to Canadian. I call him excited. You can now join my team. You could make this much now. And in Canada, that's like you're a freaking millionaire. And he said, you know what? I'm going to lose the house. And that is the problem with the system. Once you're in it, you can't get out and you can't even think straight. You're just like, I have free rent. He was like, even if I lost my job, I'd have free rent. It wasn't like, no, let me try and better the life of my family. Let me want to make more money. And, you know, I don't know, get maybe a better house or get out of this neighborhood or better myself for yourself. It's not even about the money. It's just like, why would you settle for that? But that's what happens. The system traps you. And I couldn't believe it. And I think this is part of the reason Mamdani won. Like, yeah, like fight for the people. But, you know, I hear him, okay, you want to tax the rich, right? Making $1 million in New York. First of all, you're not rich, but you want to tax them 20%. But I hate how he says, oh, it's a rounding number. Well, you know what? That guy or woman making $1 million, they're working hard to make that $1 million. And who the hell are you to come and say, well, it's a rounding error?
You know how much you need to retire at 65 years old? $1.26 million. That's
right. And who's got that?
Yeah.
Saved.
And again, when I was a kid, they used to have a TV show called The Millionaires. Oh my God, $1 million. Yeah.
Right.
But again, it's socialism is becoming what it is because the young people have no future. Again, the big zone everything. And they're tired of it. And again, it's not capitalism as I see it. What are the United States doing these deals with Oracle and buying into the companies? It's called, remember this guy, maybe being an Italian from Rome, maybe you heard of his name, Mussolini? What did he call the merger of state and corporate powers? Fascism.
Yep.
All right, there's our cover.
Whoa.
Trump wanting many more U.S. investments in big corporations like Intel equals fascism. I said Oracle, I meant Intel. The merger of state and corporate power. And that's what we have. The merger of state and corporate power, the bigs control. Look at the clown show in his cabinet. Look at the people in there. Look at the billionaires running the show.
Well, that's what Frank Justra's point was, is that we don't have capitalism anymore. It's oligarchies. Yep, and that's what the problem is. And so that's what the youth are rebelling against. And I get that. But, you know, in my opinion, look, I'm willing to give this guy Mamdani a chance. I mean, look at the other candidates. Were you going to choose Cuomo or the cat guy? But At least he's, you know what? But at least for Sawali, you know, I gotta say, at least I feel like he literally he's a true New Yorker. He got shot in a cab. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I feel like at least he was running for the right reasons. I truly thought he loved New York. But look, Mamdani ran a great, exciting campaign, social media, the young people, you got like famous people backing him, and he won.
Again, you know, I read every article I could when he won that election. And by the way, the biggest turnout in the midterms was Generation Z. Not the primary, rather.
Oh.
The primary, when he first beat Cuomo, was Generation Z. And you mentioned social media. That's the future. And the woman running it for him was like 28 years old.
Right.
People aren't reading anymore. They don't know anything. Everything is social media. And that's what it was. So what he did there.
And I want to say, I see such parallels between him and Justin Trudeau. Look at Justin Trudeau's campaign. The first time he ran, he was taking, what did he become known for? Oh, he takes selfies with us. And he was taking selfies with all the voters, the Canadian voters. And there's so many parallels. They're, you know, they both grew up affluent, well off, went to the best schools, but everyone seemed to fall for this thinking that, oh, they're one of us. Yeah. Well, Justin Trudeau just showed you his true colors. You know, making out with Katy Perry on a yacht. I mean, if that's not the ultimate hypocrisy, right? Yeah. Like, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a celebrity. He didn't want to help Canada. In fact, he was the worst prime minister in Canadian history and destroyed the economy in the 10 years he was there. And I'm saying this as someone who voted and wanted to believe in Trudeau. So when people come to me, oh, Daniela, you know, you're not a liberal. No, I was a liberal until I woke up. Okay.
I call him Trudeau.
Well, you gotta look at the guy ruined the country, and now he's like flying around, doesn't care. He's out with Katy Perry. Ridiculous.
Again, a little spoiled daddy's boy.
Yeah, but I think Mamdani and Trudeau, I see so many similarities there. Again, I wish him the best, but I'm not overly optimistic of the change he can make here in the city.
You know, I used to be on the show with Curtis Leeway. And many.
What was he like, Gerald?
He's a nice guy, but he wouldn't listen. You know, I told him, don't keep wearing that stupid hat. And
the beret.
yeah, those days are over. You don't want to hear about this guardian angel stuff anymore. And I also came out with the homeless solution that they just ignored me about. And I gave him a lot of money, not a lot, but a couple of $1,000s the first time he ran. And they never got back to me. Like, here's my homeless solution. Once upon a time, there used to be a TV show, a movie called what was it called? About Boys Town. And it was about these poor kids, orphans, and they brought them out to like Idaho or somewhere, Iowa, and on a farm. And they taught them skills. Take the homeless people out of the cities. Oh, you have them in shelters. Oh, and these apartment buildings that your buddies in the gang and that in politics make a lot of money, billions of dollars by housing them. And what do? You're in a room and you want to get outside and you got nowhere to go. You're out in the street. Bring them. You've been up here, Kingston, and you drive up to Montreal. There used to be a place called the Borscht Belt. Grossingers, Browns, top hotels up here in the west of the Hudson Valley. They called it the Borscht Belt because the Jewish people, the borscht is the beet soup. They used to come up here during the summer. And then what happened was in the late 1960s, middle to late 1960s, jet travel started to happen. And used to have these advertisements, come on down, Eastern Airlines, all these airlines. So people stopped coming up here. And these places went bust. Take the homeless people out of the cities, bring them to this beautiful, beautiful area, and build homeless towns. Put them to work in the summer, you're gardening, give them crafts, give them skills, build beautiful. You're spending billions of dollars every year in the cities. Get them out of the cities, put them in this beautiful country, and give them skills and just like they did with Boys Town. Shut the hell up, Salenti. What the hell do you know? I'm not going to listen to you. You're just a little wop from the Bronx. You don't know anything. So nobody would listen to me about this. Again, we sent this, Daniela, the homeless solution to all of the major media. Not one person would cover it.
Yeah, because why don't they want to cover it, Gerald?
Because they're prostitutes. They're media whores who get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters.
No, but instead, I saw this showdown. So I'm crossing on 72nd and Broadway. We're walking. All of a sudden, this cop car screeches. There's this old man, and I don't know what they are arresting him for, but like he obviously wasn't armed. Maybe, I don't know what he did. Maybe he pulled his pants. I don't know. Okay. But like you had 5 other cop cars came and they're all like, and he's like, please, you're hurting me. They're all like, and I'm thinking, look at all this police presence for this obviously mentally ill, older man. Right. And now what? So now what? He's going to be taken to the jail for an hour, released. Like, this is what we're trying to fight.
How about all these ICE guys in all these cities now? It
broke my heart. I was like, this isn't the solution. The guy was obviously mentally ill, needs help.
That's what I'm saying.
Not pressing his face to the floor, with 9 cops around him.
Yeah, look at San Francisco. Oh, it's a crap show now. The homeless are all over the place.
Yep.
And again, that's what nobody else is talking about, by the way. The damage that the COVID war did, economically, socially, and spiritually. Oh, what is going back to this guy, Mondani winning. Once upon a time, the average age of first-time home buyers, 8 years old. Today, 40. Oh, now Trump's coming up with a 50-year mortgage. Oh, yeah.
It's not 4. It's like 60, Gerald. It's something crazy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, 40 years old is the average age now of first-time home buyers. It used to be 28. They have no future.
Most of my friends that are 40 still don't own a home.
They what?
Most of the people I know that are 40, some of my friends still own no home.
Yeah. They can't afford it. Again, the prices of homes since the COVID war have gone up 50%. 50%. Automobiles, it only went up a little over 30%.
Yeah, and why do you think we're seeing all these increase in, I'm not going to say the C word, but in illnesses?
Yep.
Right, Gerald? Like, why do you think that's happening? Why is colon cancer in the young on the rise? Or again,
and again, matter of fact, there's an article that just came out in the Guardian today about the dangers of ultra-processed foods. And people eat this crap. Look what they look like.
And I hope it's not true, about how Canada wants to allow cloned meat to be sold.
Yeah.
I sent it to a few sources that said, please tell me this is fake news, but it was a legitimate source.
Yeah. So going back to the meeting in Zurich, tell me what was the general consensus?
The general consensus is exactly what we were talking about, that we're all screwed. And that if you're in gold, you at least have a shot, and you can at least take control back of what's going on in the system. So the general consensus is that we are headed to some sort of reset. What that exactly looks like, we don't know. But that you need to, the only way to protect yourself is to be owning physical gold or silver or platinum in your possession. But the main theme was, why do the central banks keep buying gold? Why? What do they know that we don't know? They obviously see the writing on the wall, and they're not stopping the gold buying. Every year, it's a new record of gold buying. Why? And that should be answer enough. Don't do what they say, just do what they're doing. And it made me think when I started my career and I was working at the European Union, when I was part of the system like you were, Gerald, I had become friends with a woman that worked at the Bank of Italy. And she said, I have two points I want to share with you. One, she's like, go out and buy yourself the most expensive suit you can afford, like good quality, because it will last you forever. Go get yourself a Max Mara suit. And two, start buying gold. Whatever you can allocate to your paycheck, buy gold. But this was before my gold journey. I was like 25 years old at that time. I'm, what the hell is she talking about? I'm like, I don't even know how to buy gold. She's like, whatever you do, just buy some gold coins. She's like, I allocate half of my salary every month to gold.
Wow.
Imagine how much money she's put aside. God bless her. But I didn't know what she was talking about because they don't teach you about gold.
Yeah.
I only learned about gold because I joined Kitco.
You know,
My life.
When you were talking about people wanting to leave the country, where are you going to go? I mean, you got my friends in Italy. It's one of the most bureaucratic places on the planet.
Yeah, it's great. Look, I lived in Italy for 5 years. I lived that life. And I'm going to tell you, it's not dolce. Like, yeah, vacationing, there's one thing. But then go deal with the bank. Go deal with the post office. And you're going to want to rip your hair out.
Yeah.
So if you're like, sure, if you're like, multi-millionaire and you have staff dealing with the everyday stuff you need to deal with, then fine, go for it. But if you will need to deal with everyday life in Italy, you will go bonkers because the system is broken.
Yep.
Completely.
I have my dear friend, he's in Sicily and he lives in Chicago. And he grew up there. I was his best man in his wedding back in 1984. And he tells me what a horrible, the bureaucracy is just so terrible and how the people can't stand it. And again, it's one country after another. So where do you go?
So people were saying Switzerland. Switzerland came up as a solution. I mean, obviously it was in Zurich, so there was some buy. That was the winning country, I guess, if I had to say. But it's, high cost of living. I mean, look at Zurich. Now, yeah, granted, I think the minimum wage is 30 francs an hour. So high minimum wage. Groceries, I went into the grocery store. I like going into grocery stores to just gauge. I found the prices much less than here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So utilities and groceries are not a lot in Zurich. If you go out to eat, and clothing, things like this are very expensive.
Well, there's another thing about Switzerland, direct democracy. The people vote.
The people vote, but there is a risk. Like the people don't want to join the EU, and that's a movement. There's pressure for the Swiss to join the European Union. They don't want to.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but the people vote. Here
yes.
we don't have any choice.
They care. They really care. Yes, 100%.
Oh, and everybody got guns too. That's the other thing. And Switzerland hasn't been in a war since what, about 1856?
But the only thing is, Gerald, I know how much you like parties. So Zurich isn't a party town.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, there's not much happening at night in Zurich, but
there's nothing going on here. I call the Hudson Valley Death Valley. Everything changed. Everything changed after COVID. I'm telling you, the restaurants that used to stop serving at 10 o'clock, now they stop serving at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Everything changed after COVID. I don't have to tell you. You're down the city. You see how different it is.
I can't even put it in words. It's like an alternate universe, Gerald.
Yeah.
So
Daniela, in wrapping up, I want to say to everyone, pay as much attention as you can to the facts. And what's going on now, it's not what you got to look at things, not what you like, what you want, what you wish for. It's what is. You only look at it for the what is. And Daniela, you got ITM trading and you do these great interviews every day. So tell people how to get there. And
ITMtraining.com. And the other amazing thing, if you go to DaniReport.com, it's DANI report.com, you'll find a bunch of free guides. So for people who are listening and overwhelmed, they don't know how to start their gold journey or silver journey, there's a bunch of great free material. And I always say you can reach out to my colleagues at ITM, tell them I sent you, they'll take extra great care of you. You book a strategy session and they will walk you through, an entire session surrounded around, owning what physical gold can do, what physical silver can do for you. It's free, it's educational, it's fun. I highly recommend it.
Yep. Yo, I do too. People call people liberals today.
Yeah.
They're not liberals. This is the definition from a liberal. Well, I don't have this democracy. I'm sorry. I thought I had liberal. But anyway, they're not liberals. Liberals have open minds, and you could be anybody who you want to be.
Right.
That's what it used to be.
Right.
And again, people get angry at me because I get angry. He who is not angry when there is just cause for anger is immoral. Why? Because anger looks to the good of justice. And if you could live amid injustice without anger, you are immoral as well as unjust. That was St. Thomas Aquinas.
He's from my hometown in Italy. A
Yeah.
wise man.
And again, oh, by the way, this is the other thing that these Epstein files coming out. I got to see what happens with that. And this is from Mark Epstein, who's Jeffrey Epstein's brother.
Yeah.
He said the FBI will sanitize the Epstein files to redact the names of politicians before they are released to the public. So we'll see what happens. Disgusting. Disgusting. So,
Wow.
Daniela, thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah,
And again, everybody go to ITM Trading if you want to see some great people she has on.
Like Gerald, who's going to come on soon to my show. I always invite you for my Outlook series.
Yeah. And again, this is going to be, we see gold, again, it's because of the dangers ahead that the gold price is going to keep rising. I mean, look at the U.S. trade deficit, a debt level. It's not 38 trillion. When you put in Social Security, government spending, it's over 100 trillion. And by the way, according to the OECD, it's about almost 340 trillion debt levels worldwide.
These numbers make me laugh, Gerald. They're just, I don't know.
And again, that's why gold price is going to keep going up.
And that's why you want to be in gold, because you want to preserve your wealth and your purchasing power. It's the only way to do it. There's no other way to do it. Gold is the solution. Look,
knock on wood, I've been buying gold again since 1978. $163, I think, an ounce was the first.
Wow. Yeah. So people are going to get a little bigger Christmas gifts this year from you, Gerald.
Well, I had 300 ounces back in 1980. And again, I'm a young guy. I had to sell it all, but that's how long I've been buying it. And and I just see it again. The world is going down in front of everybody's eyes. And so, thank you very much for being on.
Gerald.
And we'll see you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.